Hey, Callie.
Hold on.
What?
All right, go.
Guess what? What is it? We made the playoffs. Callie, are you excited? Yes. Ask Uncle Sandy. You made the playoffs.
Who, me?
Uh-huh.
I did it in one of my other leagues. It doesn't count and doesn't matter. Does that
All right.
help?
What's up, girls?
Thanks for sticking that in my dagger in my back.
Oh, of course.
Hi.
All right. Well, everyone, welcome to the playoffs. That's right. My girls, the Pink Panthers, somehow made it to the playoffs in the Family League. They are the number 4 seed. Now, granted, it's a PPR league, so a little bit easier, but they needed to, 2 weeks ago, beat Derrick Henry, and they did. They won this past week, and they secured their number 4 spot. So my little girls made the playoffs. This is 2 years in a row that they've made the playoffs in the Family League. Last year, they came in second somehow. I don't think they're going to do it this year. They have to play Derrick Henry again, and so it's not looking good for them. But luckily, they have Tyreek Hill in that league, partially because they think he's part cheetah. So anyway, we are in our playoff-bound weeks here. I want to talk about some of these matchups. So I was shocked Zach won. I did not think that he was going to be able to pull off a win. I don't know what happened with the Steelers defense against Washington, but I just thought that they were going to destroy Alex Smith. I thought that they were going to play much better. And I can't believe Milkos won. His kicker did everything possible to try and lose him that matchup. But he snuck into the playoffs. And unfortunately, our co-host extraordinaire got kicked out of the playoffs. How do you feel about that, man?
It's a little heartbreaking, especially since I woke up. I kind of figured I missed the playoffs, but the whole time we're talking, you're like, it's mathematically impossible for you to miss. And I had been looking at it, and I was like, no, I think I could miss the playoffs, but I'll trust JP. And I wake up on Wednesday morning, and JP says, you better beat Chad so that we can play each other in the championships. And I got excited, like, oh, I did make the playoffs. And then I go on there, and I find out I'm actually in the toilet bowl. And I had nothing but hatred and anger for JP. Actually, I woke up feeling like a little bit like my girlfriend told me that she loved me and there was no one else but me for her and her whole life. And then the next morning she breaks up with me for another guy. So I had that little ache in my heart. And so I'm a little bit over it now, but still a little bummed out.
All right. Well, I got a message to share, James.
Hey, you crying? It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. Look, I know you wanted to make it to the playoffs, but it's okay. You gotta keep your head in the game. Stay focused.
Hey, don't coughing. Did you make my wife do this? Are you making my wife do
Look,
this?
hey, focus. You still have to get some wins. You gotta get rid of that license plate. That S word suck is embarrassing on our car.
Well, thank you so much, Judith, for that wonderful compilation you put together. James, I am so sorry, bud, but good news for you, and maybe good news for my girls. They might get Christian McCaffrey back this week, and that would be great for them. Also great for you trying to avoid the toilet bowl this year. But by way of reminder, we are playing for – I got to stop this background real quick. We are playing for this beautiful trophy, Divine Interception. We're in our 6th year, which means next year we move to the back panel. So that'll be exciting. and then one more panel, an 18-year trophy. That's right, 18 years. I'm going to try to keep this league alive, doing it better every year. And we are playing for this autographed Davante Adams jersey. So hopefully he'll come through and be the #1 wide receiver in fantasy. But Tyreek Hill is doing everything possible to make that not true. So we're going to jump into a few questions here I have. So are you guys shocked at the playoffs? Are you guys shocked at who's in there? Obviously, Don Rat and I, we were pretty secure. But Milko, Zach, Drew, and Chad. Anyone in that group just kind of you feel like shouldn't be in there or doesn't belong in there? Mass, what do you think?
I don't really think anybody shouldn't belong in there, but I really thought that James, you'd make it in, but McCaffrey really doomed you this year. Because I mean, if there was anybody that was going into that didn't have a first round bye that I didn't want to play, it was you with McCaffrey, and you ended up not even making it somehow. That kind of blew my mind. I was in the same boat as you, where I was like, he's going to make it, and I just don't want to play him. And then I look, and you didn't even make it somehow.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, besides the people that are in, I mean, not particularly surprised, but you not being in it and Alex not being in it with his receivers is kind of absurd. And he had Keenan Allen before I stole him from him. It's like his receivers were insane this year, and he didn't make it somehow. So
I think it goes to show you that wide receivers aren't the end-all be-all for winning a fantasy football championship. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm a little shocked that Alex didn't make it in, and really shocked James didn't make it in. I really thought that he was still in it. So obviously, points for is the big divider in our league. So you started falling apart at the end. And I think that kind of is what did you in. So James, aside from yourself, anyone else you're shocked at making the playoffs or not making the playoffs?
Well, I mean, he'd probably say that he's not shocked, but I'm a little surprised that Zach pulled it off. He had a really rough start. I mean, you predicted that he was going to come back and win a lot of games in a row, and he really did. But yeah, he barely squeaked by, this past week to get in there, and he made it. And yeah, I'm a little shocked I didn't make it. I had a great start, but I think I even called it initially that the previous year I had a great start like this, and then I petered out at the end. It is a bummer. My first round pick, McCaffrey, got me 2 games, three solid games, and has been out the whole year. And I really think if he played the whole year, I could have at least had 1 or 2 more victories for sure. Just kind of looking at the numbers and the margin of loss I had against in my other losses. And I'm hoping I get him so that I can at least have a chance to win this week against Carey. But I got an update saying that he's doubtful to play even this week. So I gotta hope that he makes it to week 15 if I end up going there. And I'm hoping I don't. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think so. We'll touch on it here in a second. There is one team I am very thankful is not in the playoffs, and I'll reveal that in a few minutes. But let's go ahead and get to some of these matchups and give some start-sit advice. I want to start with the teams that are trying to not get that license plate, the dreaded last place. Let's go ahead and look at James versus Carey. So we'll start with you, Bud. You have a matchup against Carey. What are some things you're going to do to ensure that you have a full roster without Christian McCaffrey there? I saw you didn't make any bids on like Ty Johnson or anything. So what sneaky tricks do you have up your sleeve?
I mean, really, I need to pick up I think a running back. I think I'm okay wide receiver wise. I think Brandon Ayuk has shown to be a pretty solid receiver for the Niners, and he's like their #1 target, so he'll be good receiver wise. Claypool is kind of questionable, and Diggs, man, you think he gets a lot of yardage. He never scores a touchdown though, so which is pretty frustrating. But I'm hoping that they pull it off. I think I need to pick up a running back. And so, I mean, any advice for any other potential running backs I can pick up? You mentioned what's his face earlier, but I don't even know.
So yeah, I know Claypool has kind of let you down. I think he'll get it done against Buffalo and their porous secondary. Not only that, but they manufacture touches for him. So I think whether he gets a receiving touchdown or a rushing touchdown, he'll be all right. I'm surprised that Brandon Ayuk is playing as well as he is, or that they're using him the way that he is. And I really like the Robert Tonyan pickup. I was a little surprised that Mass dropped him. What was your mindset behind that? Why did you drop Tonyan, or Tunyon, I think is the proper way to pronounce it?
Yeah, it is Tunyon. I dropped him because despite him being number 4 tight end in the league, he has a ton of touchdowns, and he's only on the field like 60, 70% of the time. And I had Goddard and Noah Fant because I'm not as blessed as you to have an amazing tight end, or the only amazing tight end. And they're on the field way more often. So like one thing that I really hate is when I'm watching TV and the player that I need on the field isn't even on the field. It's like, oh, we're on the 1 yard line and he's not even on the field. So Tunyon gets a lot of touchdowns, but like I feel like it could drop off at any time. He doesn't get nearly as many targets as my other guys.
Yeah, I understand the logic behind that. So my advice to you, James, I would go pick up Ito Smith. Maybe Atlanta gives up and they just see what they got in some of their players. On the other side of the ball, Kalen Ballage might be a good pickup as well. But yeah, just have a contingency plan for McCaffrey being out. And roll with what you got as far as the waiver wire. But for what's out there, again, I think there's not much, but Ito Smith is probably my favorite pickup. And I don't see a point in holding on to like Jonnu Smith in the meantime or anything like that. So I think he's a droppable player. But yeah, unfortunately though, Carey on the other side of the ball has some plus matchups. Jonathan Taylor, again, they're finally utilizing him in some capacity. Not completely the way they should. Sometimes I think that they don't understand what they have in Jonathan Taylor. So you wish you would get some more goal line touches. But your boy Raheem Mostert, I think, is very eager to get back to his elite status. He wanted to prove a lot this year. One of the things that I find really interesting, and just kind of a mental note for all of us, do you know what he did what he was bragging about in the offseason that he did to put on or to get a better workload? He talked about putting on weight. He added about 10 pounds this season. Christian McCaffrey also bulked up a lot between this previous year into this year. And what happens? They suffer a lot of injuries. So just something that I find really intriguing as people bulk up and they try to take on more of a workload. Well, sometimes your body isn't able to handle all that work. So we'll see what happens with Mostert, but I like him. I like Calvin Ridley. And yeah, I would love to see you stress one more week. So I'm going to pick Carey for this win. James, who you got?
Hey, I'm gonna go with me. I'm hoping and praying that that some of my guys show up and show up big, couple touchdowns that they don't typically get. Maybe they'll pull through. I really don't want to get this license plate again. So I'd love to not even have to worry about it. I was looking forward to making the playoffs and just saying yes, that was my goal. And I missed my goal. So I'm hoping to just get rid of this now.
All right, Mass, who you got? You got James or Carey?
It's really close, but I'm gonna go Carey because if McCaffrey doesn't play, if he plays, which I mean it doesn't look like he's doubtful. If he plays, then I'll go with James. But if not, then Carey, just because of the running back situation you have, James.
Yeah.
Chad just messaged the group. Chad, we're working on the video right now, so thanks for the interruption. All right, we're going to move on to Alex versus Matt. So Alex has been riding the Saints quarterback all season. he was proving all the doubters wrong, primarily myself, who didn't think Drew Brees was going to be much this year in fantasy. And then the second he gets injured, he picks up Taysom Hill. And again, questionable pickup, but Taysom Hill seems to be getting the job done for him. He gets David Johnson back this week in a tough matchup, though, against Chicago. And a player that I've been wrong on, DeAndre Hopkins. So I don't know. I in my mind, he was going to be a bust this year. He's the wide receiver 6 on the season, though. So maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe that's not right. But yeah, I would love to have DeAndre Hopkins on my team at this point. And DK Metcalf has had an up and down year, but he's established himself as the one. And this week they get the Jets. That being said, the team I am most thankful is not in the playoffs. The team that I think is going to run up some scores from here on out is Matt. I love his team. I think he has a great playoff schedule. I would roll with Tom Brady over Ben Roethlisberger this week. Again, I think he wants to prove something, and Chris Carson is going to be utilized again. I know he has the questionable foot injury. The only player I'm concerned with, though, is Ezekiel Elliott. He popped up on the injury report. I don't recall what the exact injury was, but Gus Edwards seems like he can get the job done in the meantime. But I'm going to give this win to Matt. Mass, thoughts, comments on the matchup, and any advice?
I think Matt probably wins as well, even though I picked Alex as the team that I thought was the most surprising not to get in, besides James. And it's because of the running back situation they got there. Chris Carson and Zeke, even though they're listed as both questionable, I think are better than both of Alex's running backs. He's had running back issues all season, and that's luckily for me, that's how I fleeced him for Keenan Allen with David Johnson. But Taysom Hill, I don't know. Like, I know the Eagles are going to stack the box because that's what they do, and make sure that Taysom Hill is going to prove it through the air. So I know there's going to be sacks in that game. I don't think he's going to live up to 20 points that he's listed to. I would still start him, but just because the Eagles are bad, but I don't think he's going to live up to it. And I would, if I'm Matt, I would start Tom Brady as well.
Yeah. The only other thought, I'm curious, and I'll let James answer this first. Looking at Alex's team, if I had his lineup, I would go with Gio Bernard over J.K. Dobbins. I think since he should still have the backfield to himself this week. I know there was some talk about Mixon coming back, but I think right now he's still out. I think he's a really good play against Dallas. People can run on Dallas. They have continually run on Dallas. So I like Gio on your bench to go in your starting lineup. James, what do you think about that? And any other thoughts on these matchups?
Yeah, I think I would probably agree with you. Just because Dobbins is on Baltimore's team, and they have like a running back by committee kind of scenario where you never really know who's your guy going to go in there. And also, I was surprised with, Cleveland kind of did a great job of stopping Henry last week from doing anything.
Hey, they didn't stop Henry. Henry was scheduled out of the game because they got up so big. You don't stop Derrick Henry, all right? Don't speak your lies here, man.
Well, anyways, I see that potentially happening, so I would probably switch those two. But I think I agree with you both that Matt is going to pull this one off. I also would switch out Roethlisberger for Tom Brady. I think he's going to do really well against the Vikings.
I'm curious. So, Mass, I want you to answer the Gio Dobbins question, but also looking at the other side of the ball, I'm curious what your thoughts are on Austin Hooper. So he, on paper, should be a good tight end. I'm wondering though if like Cole Clement or Logan Thomas would be wiser starts. I mean, Austin Hooper he hasn't lived up, and I knew he wasn't going to live up to what they paid him. But I don't know, man. At this point, why would you trust him? So answer that question as well. But J.K. Dobbins or Gio Bernard, what do you think?
Man, I just think J.K. Dobbins is such a good player. I think he's better than Ezekiel Elliott right now. Just like if they were on a field or if they switched teams or whatever, J.K. Dobbins would be a better football player, and he would show it. That being said, John Harbaugh hates him. And so I'd have to go with Gio Bernard just because Dallas's defense is 32nd against the run. I mean, as long as Joe Mixon isn't playing, I think you got to go with Gio, even though Cincinnati's O-line is pathetic. And then, Austin Hooper. Yeah, what is his deal? Like,
they're worried about his intestines, I think, so they don't want to pass him the ball because he had that appendix removed.
That's right. He had all these great matchups recently. Green, and he's got two targets. Like, I'm not starting Austin Hooper until he proves something. I don't know if I drop him, but yeah, I guess Logan Thomas, because he's at least proved that he has some sort of connection with Alex Smith. He wasn't doing well with Haskins on the field. But yeah, I'd go with Logan Thomas.
Yeah, I would probably make the switch too. I don't want to leave my fate in Austin Hooper's hands, literally. Callie, who do you got? Do you have Uncle Matt or Alex winning this game?
Uncle Matt.
All right. It's said, it's done. Sorry, Alex. You get flushed to the next round. All right. Let's look at some of the playoff contenders here. So Rhett and Eric were so bad that they get a bye into the next round. So they're not playing, in case you were curious. Let's look at Chad versus Drew. So Chad has been riding Kyler Murray all season. Obviously, we know what a difference maker Kyler Murray can be when he's healthy. On the other side of the ball, though, you have Patrick Mahomes. I'm wondering if next year I just get a Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill stack in my first two rounds, because it is hard to overcome that. Those guys are amazing. Patrick Mahomes, I think, only has like 3 games on the season that he hasn't thrown 400 yards. The guy's a freak. He's been living up to what you'd hope he'd be. And, good for you, Drew, for not trading him away, no matter how hard I or others might have tried. I'm really confident in Ronald Jones this week as well. Not so confident in Kareem Hunt, though. I don't think that he's a good start, but I also wouldn't start any of your other backup running backs. So I guess you're between a rock and a hard place. So Jerry Jeudy and Deontay Johnson. So personally, I would switch out Jeudy. I like who was it that I liked on the waiver wire? Sorry. Oh yeah, Kiki Cutie, or Kiki QT if you want to be cute about it. I like him better than I like what's his name? Jerry Jeudy. He's just not moving in the offense. He's not acclimating well. He has good spurts, but you have to trust Drew Lock to get him the ball. Not something that I love. So other than that, I think you have a great lineup. Justin Jefferson is one of those players I'm sad I missed out on. I wish I would have I thought about spinning up to try and grab him. I thought about trading for him. But that Vikings offense is Dalvin Cook. So it's hard to trust the pass catchers. That being said, when you're only throwing to 2 wide receivers, it makes it really intriguing. James Robinson. He is amazing. And I think Chad made a good move to acquire him. There's something about having a solid running back on your team. He's been amazing up to this point. The waiver wire gem But unfortunately, he has finally popped up on the injury report. He has a questionable knee injury, and I'm not shocked because they've been giving him 30 carries a game. 30 carries a game. That's more than Derrick Henry. That's more than it doesn't matter. Everybody, the guy has been carrying a huge workload. So that's something to monitor. Obviously, you lose Antonio Gibson. Mass, who do you got? What is your advice for these people trying to move into the next round of the playoffs?
Well, I want to preface this by thanking you, JP, for being on the Dalvin Cook fan club. I had no idea. But he gets about 30 carries a game too. So
I think he had 32 opportunities last week being injured. Like, I was like, what?
Yeah, I didn't want them to use him either because the game didn't matter to me. I'm like, just save yourself for the fantasy playoffs. Like, that matters to them.
I asked Andy Reid to do the same thing with Kelsey this week. I said, just rest him. You don't need him this week.
Yeah, maybe I'll bench him in my league. But I think that Chad is going to win, and I'm more scared of playing him than I am Coach Cass because of a few things. But you got to assume James Robinson's going to be healthy. Kyler Murray, QB1, Eckler. It looks like he's finally getting a real workload. Gallman
against Atlanta, it's gonna be nuts, man. I think a few touchdowns coming up for Eckler. One rushing, one receiving, at least. So
he's been injured all year, but now he's finally he's in the fantasy playoffs here, so it's like it's finally means something. Wayne Gallman, I think, could get the job done. It says it's supposed to be rainy, but I'm more scared of playing Chad because of all those guys, and Antonio Gibson coming back would really just suck for me. But I think he's going to win because of those guys, and I don't trust Ronald Jones like you do at all because Bruce Arians is just a lunatic and likes to do whatever he wants. He got a lot of points last week, but he played 36% of the snaps, or 2 weeks ago, before their bye. Like, I cannot trust that guy. I don't know why he's projected 11 and Fournette's projected 12. Like, you can't play both. That's not something you can do. So it's a coin flip.
I think so. I'll explain my logic. I think the reason I trust Rojo this week is because he has proven that he's the better running back. And obviously, we know Bruce Arians likes to bench players who fumble or who miss a blocking assignment. He fumbled and has still played really well. I think at the end of the day, Tom Brady is commanding that team, which is why he and Bruce Arians are butting heads so much. And I think Tom Brady wants Ronald Jones out there. Fournette's supposed to be the pass catcher, but man, he can't catch a ball to save his life. Like, I've been watching him, just trying to figure out what's going on. Maybe it's Brady, and it's not all on Brady. The guy's just dropping these easy out routes, and so that's where my confidence comes from. And so I don't know. I just feel really good about Ronald Jones, and that's not my team, so I can't make that call, but. Obviously, this is why we have the show, so you can hear both sides of the opinion. Why do you hate Ronald Jones this week?
Why I hate him because I mean, look, there's a huge chance he could have 30 points. I mean, not huge, but like it could happen, or he could have 0 or -2. Like he could get one carry, fumble, and then not see the field again because Bruce Arians. And I'm not so sure that Rojo is the better back. 2 years ago, Leonard Fournette wasn't supposed to be he couldn't catch the ball at all, and then he had this like transformation where now he's a pass catcher or something. But you're right, he still can't do it. But I think he was drafted number 3 overall. I think that he should be the better back. Like I said, it's a coin flip, but I'm not playing both. So if I'm going to play one, I got to play the one who had more snaps the week before, and that would have to be Fournette. And I know they were down the whole time, but like I don't understand why you don't play Fournette when you're up, because he's so strong. Like, he's a bigger back. He's supposed to be the back that runs in between the tackles and runs people over like he did at LSU. So that's why.
All right, James, give your opinion. I need to excuse myself for a second. I'm at home with the kids, so not a great time to do all this. But James, give your thoughts. Have a real conversation. The other things I want you to discuss, in case I don't come back, is why in the world Chad is trying to play T.Y. Hilton this week. So take it over, James, and discuss T.Y. Hilton with Mass and see what Chad should do to try and play next week.
Well, that's funny that, JP mentioned that and questioned it, because I kind of liked the pickup, especially in the last 2 weeks. He's done fairly well, and he's going to go up against the Raiders, which is another green matchup. So he's got potential to score another touchdown. But I don't know. That could just be my bias, because one of my other leagues, I picked him up and he did really well for me and helped me blow past my competition. So I kind of liked it. Otherwise, I think I agree with UMass that I think Chad is gonna win this game. I don't just based off of all his matchups, he's got a better running back situation, and as we have grown to realize, or at least I have, maybe you and JP have known this the whole time, which is why you got bye weeks, is that running backs are kind of the players that make the game. If you don't have good running backs, then you're kind of hosed in a sense, which I'm experiencing now, not having any. So, I like Chad. I think he's going to pull it off, and that's basically it.
All right, so let's pick a winner for this game. I'm going to go with Chad. I think Chad is going to win, and unfortunately, I will play Chad next week. I think.
I don't think you will. Isn't he under my
Is he?
bracket?
That would be great. You're right. I get Milkhost or Zach. Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm giving this win to Chad. All right, Mass, who you got in this one?
Yeah, I got Chad. I think he's going to win. And I don't understand what your hatred is of T.Y. Hilton.
Dude, the guy only plays well against the Texans. I think he's done like 5 years in a row that he's played well against the Texans. He was on Chad's team. Chad drafted him. He dropped him. And now he's made it boomerang back. Chad, let it go, man. He's not in love with you. Like, don't put your fantasy championship bid on T.Y. Hilton. He will let you down. All right.
Well, just based on what you're saying there, if he does win this week and he plays Mass next week, he's playing the Texans again. So it's a good pickup.
No.
All right, Chad. Rest T.Y. Hilton this week. Play him next week. Do not play T.Y. Hilton this week. Who you got, James?
I went with Chad as well, and I did say I like the T.Y. Hilton pickup. So good job, Chad.
All right, so Callie, you got Chad or you got Drew this week? Who do you think's gonna win?
I think Drew.
Ooh, all right. The Oracle has spoken. All right. Now back on my side. You're right. So I am gonna have to play one of these two guys next week. We have Zach versus my brother Milkos. Yeah, I'm shocked Milkos made it to the playoffs. His team is so old and busted and hobbled. He made it to the playoffs on 3 wheels. Zach resurrected his career, and yet Mike Davis and Clyde Edwards-Helaire are your starting running backs. That can't feel good, man. That can't give you a confidence boost. And obviously, all year, Zach has struggled with setting his lineup. It's not that he doesn't set it. It's that he doesn't know how to set it. He always misses out, seems to pick the wrong players. And even if he puts up big numbers, he's been getting big upsets. That being said, AJ Brown, I think is a great player to have. He has a great matchup this week against Jacksonville, and while there's there's a questionable ankle injury, he will play. He's reliable, and Robbie Anderson is going to have the backfield to him, or excuse the pass catching to himself. Everyone else is sick, and if Christian McCaffrey doesn't play, man, he is going to be a target monster. Like he's left. And this is his chance to prove that he was a product of the Adam Gase failure, that he's actually a good player, that he's a good receiver, that he's not just a deep route guy, but he can make crucial catches in the slant in the slot or out of the slot. So I think between him and Darren Waller, you have a great shot at winning this week. But on the other side of the ball, Russell Wilson, he can see his MVP candidacy slipping away from him. So what is he going to do? He is going to light it up against the Jets. He is going to make sure DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Hollister, David Moore, that they all score a touchdown. He's going to make sure that Chris Carson gets a 30-yard screen pass. He just wants to prove that he deserves an MVP vote. And so I think that motivation is going to be huge for him. So I feel really scared to play Russell Wilson against the Jets this week. And Devontae Adams is already being force-fed the ball. If you watch last week's game, it is like Aaron Rodgers has eyes for no one else. 3 consecutive attempts in the end zone. You have one player, you're playing Madden? What is going on? And obviously, he is going to get a touchdown. The question is, how many touchdowns is he going to get against Detroit? So this is a good matchup. Juju against Buffalo, I have a great feeling about too. And yeah, I'm going to go with Milkos. I think Milkos is going to surprise everyone and pull out a win this week. And yeah, then hopefully lose to me next week, or maybe forget to set his lineup because I'm his baby brother and he loves me. So, Mass, what do you think about this matchup? Any recommendations? And then who do you got as a winner?
I think it's really tough. Russell Wilson, like you said, I think is just going to have a crazy good game because he's angry about being awful against the Giants. I think Russell Wilson is really overrated. Everyone always says he's one of the best, but he just has these games where he explodes and he just takes it over. And against the Jets, I think that'll be pretty easy, especially if they just fire the defensive coordinator. They don't know what they're doing. And then Devontae Adams, like you said, that was against the Eagles' only good corner, Darius Slay. He just tore them up. He tore him up. It's like, and Aaron Rodgers could have gone anywhere else against that terrible secondary and linebacker core, but he just didn't want to. So that is tough. And despite that, I think Mike Davis having the lion's share of the touches again, and being able to have, I know it's against Indianapolis, but being able to have an amazing tight end would be so nice. It's something that I would really love, but I don't, and Zach does. So there's that. There's Mike Davis. Herbert, I think, is going to have a huge game against Atlanta. And I'm going to go with Zach because of those reasons. So.
See, I don't disagree about the Herbert having a good game. I would rather go Josh Allen just because of the rushing upside. Herbert's never going to run in a touchdown. And Atlanta, for all our flaws, can stop a rushing quarterback. So, yeah, I know Herbert's the darling that is going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. But, yeah, I mean, give me Josh Allen all day. And so, yeah, that you're not going to choose poorly. Last week you chose poorly, but you can't choose poorly. They're both great players. And I know Josh Allen is facing Pittsburgh, but and I know that they're angry about that loss, but yeah.
Herbert has 3 rushing touchdowns this year, though. He's not slow.
Yeah, but Atlanta can stop Justin Herbert. Like he's not even Russell Wilson running out there, or Andy Dalton, who I think is a fine rusher.
I can't name a defensive player on Atlanta. Can you?
Deion Sanders still plays, right?
Okay, so we're on the same page. They're bad.
All right. James, what is your advice in this matchup, and who you got?
Oh, man. First of all, just looking at this matchup, I feel sick to my stomach because both of these guys just barely squeaked in there and made me miss the playoffs. Like, I hate these guys. I really don't like. Who do you want to play so that you can just beat them? Because I'm mad at them. I hate both of them. Like, I'll pick whoever it is. Like, I'm pretty upset. It's bothering me that I just missed the playoffs, and I don't know why. Milko's kicker got more opportunities to kick another extra point after missing 3 field goals in a row. They should have gone for a 2-point conversion, and maybe I would have had a chance. And I don't know, but honestly, I like Milko's team a little bit better than Zach. I think he's got some good guys on the bench with some good matchups that he can switch out. And I don't know. I want to go with my prediction that Zach was still going to be a loser, and even though he's not going to end up being last place, I still have that chance. But I don't know. I just have it in for Zach, I guess. So I'm going to go with Milkos.
The other reason I would love for Milkos to win is not only the chance to try and beat my big brother, who always talks a big game, but also it's Zach's birthday next week, and so getting that added bonus of birthday luck is scary, and so I definitely think I could have a better shot beating Evan Ingram than I do Darren Waller with my tight end. So I'm gonna hope Zach doesn't make it through, but it's gonna be close. Hey, Cal.
I know what's going on. You are saying that Josh Allen is the must start over Herbert because you want Zach to lose.
Oh.
Because come on, how could you possibly say Josh Allen? I know he had a better week last week, but like Pittsburgh is second against quarterbacks. Atlanta's 32nd.
No, I understand that. But here's the thing. Josh Allen is also vying for an MVP candidacy. And the knock against him is that he hasn't played to elite level status. They lost. The Steelers defense has been losing people because of injuries. They lost another linebacker this past week. They've been giving up points to the wide receivers. Stephon Diggs is shown that he's like DeAndre Hopkins. He has great hands. He's going to make catches. Devin Singletary, for as horrible as a running back that he is a pass-catching running back. So I think that Josh Allen is going to prove so for instance, he is not in years past. He's never been seen as like a great quarterback. He's always played well against the Patriots because he needs to prove that he's the AFC leading quarterback. That's against the best coach in the NFL. He still gets it done. So I just think when Josh Allen wants to play well and wants to play elite, he doesn't make as many mistakes. He's very calculated in his rushes. And I see him doing really well against Pittsburgh. And it's a gut call, but my girls have Josh Allen on their team, and they're going to start him this week with confidence. So
Okay. So what's the bet? Herbert's doing better. I think it's really obvious.
Okay.
Milk bet.
Are you lactose intolerant?
No.
All right. You want to do the milk bet?
Yeah. I'm thinking half a mile though.
Yeah, half a mile, obviously.
Okay.
Ah, come on.
Hey, you lost twice, dude. All right,
Yeah.
2 glasses of milk and half a mile. Shake.
Okay.
You should do 3
All
glasses of milk.
So yeah, I definitely think. Oh man, I feel good about this one. All right, hey girls, who do you think is gonna win, Uncle Milkos or Zach?
Zach.
All right, Briella think. Oh man, 2 for Zach. Wow. Yeah. If you wait, I think. Yeah, she said if you want her vote, Milkos, you got to buy her better Christmas presents. So, and yeah, that's a wrap. So. Again, thank you so much for sticking with us this season. I appreciate all the efforts that have gone in. I love the fact that people are still using their fab. People haven't thrown in the towel. That's what makes this league so great. We have gone through a lot of people to try and get this kind of league. This is our first year being a 12-man league, and I love it. Like, man, it makes it so much harder to beat out people. There's no one out on the waiver wire that shouldn't be there. And I feel like every year we get better in this league, and I definitely think this has been the best year so far. Again, playing for that autographed Devontae Adams jersey, playing for your name on the trophy, and playing not to get that license plate. That being said, James, if you want to contribute to the league this year and save on shipping costs by just flushing yourself down the toilet, we would all appreciate it. Obviously, you can handle the torture, and it's just, you're going to miss it. So just hold on to it.
Listen, man, I think you did an awful job by being so encouraging to the league, letting them know not to give up. Like, you should have let them force them. You should have made sure that Zach felt awful about starting 0-5 initially. But if you would have done that, he could have given up a long time ago, and then I could be in the playoffs. But you encouraged everybody. You made them feel like it was possible, and look, it was possible, and that pretty much messed me over. So I'm not really happy. Also, I just realized George Kittle got injured too. I got really bad luck this year. So man, if I had a good tight end like Waller or Kelsey, I would have had a shot.
Or Goddard. All right. Don't forget our homie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, before we sign off, give us your best playoff week 14 pose. Ready? Come here. You want to be in the playoff pose?
Mhm.
All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Perfect. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the show, and thank you, Judith, for your guest appearance. So good luck to everyone this week. Good luck to you, Don Rat, too. So, yeah. We didn't talk about you. We ran out of time, but you've obviously done well. If I have to face you in the finals and I lose to Aaron Jones and Dalvin Cook, I will die. I would rather lose to someone next week than to lose to you in the finals. So
Those are going to be the only 2 guys that go off. Everyone else is going to get 5 points, and somehow I'll win.
All right. Have a good afternoon. Take care, guys. Bye.
Yeah.